Holding posters of the ruling Al Khalifa family, the crowd chanted slogans in support of a unity government. Two high-ranking U.S. politicians have pledged their support for political change in Tunisia. Senators John McCain and Joe Lieberman met various government and business leaders in Tunis on Monday. They also met with the country's caretaker Prime Minister Mohamed Ghannouchi. The former U.S. presidential candidate John McCain said his country remained committed to its military relationship with Tunisia. Officials at the Suez Canal have confirmed that two Iranian Navy vessels have entered the strategic waterway. They're the first Iranian Navy ships to pass through the canal since the Iranian Revolution in 1979. The frigate and an accompanying supply ship are en route to the Mediterranean. Israel said that it takes a grave view of the move. Staying with Iran, Mehdi Karoubi, an opposition leader there, has said on his website that the security forces have detained his son. 31 people have been convicted on conspiracy and murder charges relating to the train fire in Godhra, which killed 60 Hindu pilgrims. Police had beefed up security to prevent further unrest as a result of the verdict, which acquitted 63 people. In 2002, the fire led to anti-Muslim riots, which killed around 1,000 people between February and April. It's been over 6 months since the devastating floods hit Pakistan and displaced more than 20 million people. Now, harsh winter conditions in remote parts of the Swat Valley mean residents are cut off and left to fend for themselves. Kamal Haider reports.
The distance to Kalam may be just 85 kilometers, but right now it seems many times more than that. While the sun may be shining in other parts of the valley, the higher elevations are still under the clouds. It is estimated that up to 4 million people had to spend a shelterless winter because of the devastating floods that destroyed everything here. But even for the survivors whose houses are still intact, it is a perpetual struggle. What was once a proper road is now buried under snow. Some sections were completely destroyed during the recent devastating floods. For the past 5 months, the only way to travel to Kalam has been on foot, and even essential supplies have to be carried on the back. Our camera team walked with a group of people for 10 hours to reach Kalam in Upper Swat, an area now cut off from the outside world and encompassed by blankets of snow. For shopkeeper Shamsul Hadi, it's a constant struggle to keep the snow from threatening his family's mud hut. He says it's very difficult to get in rations for his shop. The cold already claimed the life of his 7-year-old son.
We don't even have the basic necessities of life. We are facing starvation. No medical facilities, no electricity, and no school for our children.
For now, his remaining children can also enjoy a small fire for a bit of warmth. Everyone here wants their government to reopen the road, but so far their pleas have fallen on deaf ears. The poor people of this region simply have to endure these tough times. And it seems they will have to do it on their own. Kamal Haider, AlJazeera, Swat.
All right, let's now return to our main story on AlJazeera, and that's the uprising in Libya, of course, and bring you up to speed with the latest developments. The Turkish Prime Minister has warned Libya's government of making a mistake if it chooses to disregard its people's demands. The United Nations Rights Chief has raised the possibility of crimes against humanity in Libya. The Egyptian army, meanwhile, has beefed up its military presence on the border with Libya. The Arab League is also expected to hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday to discuss the situation in the troubled country. Well, AlJazeera has more information on the bombardment of the capital by military jets on Monday night. Our sources tell us that the bombing was focused on army ammunition depots near Tripoli. The jets also targeted command centers. It seems to stop any troops joining the protesters, or perhaps to stop protesters getting hold of weapons. And witnesses say helicopter gunships were used to fire on the streets in order to scare demonstrators away. Well, Awad El Faitouri from the Libyan Information Center is here in the studio with me. Awad, let's talk about the Arab League, if we can, for a minute. They're holding an emergency meeting today to discuss the situation in Libya. We know that when it comes to crisis in the region, the Arab League has been pretty much toothless. What effects, if any, do you think this meeting, or what can they say that can have an impact on Muammar Gaddafi?
Almost nothing. We never counted in any action from the Arab governments. We only count on the action of Arab people, not the government, because they're all the same to us. So we don't expect anything from them.
Okay.
Almost, yeah.
Let me just interrupt you there. We're going to get an update from inside Libya. As you know, it's been extremely difficult to speak to people in Libya because of the phone lines there. But I understand that we have on the line with us now Dr. Ahmed, who joins us from Libya's second city, Benghazi. Dr. Ahmed, do tell us about the situation in Benghazi right now.
The situation in Benghazi right now is quite, after yesterday night we have rumors that Gaddafi will strike Benghazi as well as what he is doing in Tripoli, and the rumor will spread like hell here. The people were crying, the children were crying in the city, and in the mosque they reciting Quran and ask the people to come together to gather and to support each other. But late in the night it appeared that it's a rumor that the regime tried to threaten the people in Benghazi as what he's doing in Tripoli.
Dr. Ahmed, we had heard... Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We had heard that Benghazi had fallen to protesters and that the Gaddafi regime was no longer in control there. But it seems from what you're telling me that fighting is continuing there. Tell us, have there been any more deaths?
No fighting, no fighting.
No fighting, okay.
No fighting.
Okay.
No fighting, it was airstrike.
Airstrikes, okay, airstrikes. So how many people are you aware of were killed in those airstrikes, or how many were injured?
In Benghazi?
Yes, in Benghazi.
Over the last 5 days.
Yes, I understand you're a doctor in Benghazi. Do tell us about what injuries you've seen.
Well, gunshot injuries, different kind of gunshots and bombs as well. It's really horrible here, and it's brutal, really, the injuries that we are seeing here. The killing is really very bad shape here, but yesterday we don't have any fighting, and today is the city under the control of the city citizens. There is no appearance of the regime here.
Okay, so no fighting today. Tell me, Dr. Ahmed, are the hospitals in Benghazi able to cope with the injuries?
There is a shortage in the resources here because we don't have any medical supply. The medical supply line comes usually from Tripoli, which is usually bad in the normal routine days. But in this situation, we have running out of our medications and our medical supplies as well. We are running out of blood. We are calling the nation here for donate blood.